Ready?
Yes, sir.
It's time for the creature It was already on. That was. You can tell we're doing this.
Look at the fishtail. You can see your mic here.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It wouldn't be us talking without there being issues. Hey guys. Welcome to our very first sit-down podcast with each other. This is The Cave, YouTube. And I'm Preston, also known as Bear 714. Over there is my handsome partner in crime, Liam Malloy. That's right. I gave you your last name. Little bitch. Also known as Dragonborn, number, because I always forget your numbers.
Don't worry about that.
So yeah, we just decided to sit down and just talk about some stuff, talk about some nerdy things, anything that pretty much comes to mind, answer some of you guys' questions, if you guys have any, or if you guys want us answering questions in future videos. So first things first, Liam, tell us a little bit about yourself, tell us some interesting stuff.
Let's see. I'm a sophomore in college. I want to be a history teacher. What else? I like playing armory.
Oh, Lord. A little bit too much.
Yeah, that's the story. What else? I just bought an airsoft blank today, so that was fun. Apparently can't say that word, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm thinking about getting a Witcher costume too.
A Witcher costume?
Yeah, because I'm really into the books right now. I started playing the game again. It's like my third playthrough.
Yeah.
And because my dad always took over the save. So I'm playing the game, I'm reading the first book, which is actually funny because the first book follows the first season.
Yeah.
So it's like basically reading the same thing.
It follows the first season of the show.
The show on Netflix, yeah.
Okay.
And now I can actually picture like Geralt in my mind. Instead of just like the game Geralt, it's like handsome, our Lord and Savior Henry Cavill.
Oh, my Lanta.
So handsome. But yeah, that's me.
boy.
Yeah, just big nerd. And, big nerd, big games, gym time.
Awesome. Very nerdy person. Yeah. I'm Preston, as I already said. I'm not at college. I'm a college dropout until September, at least. For right now, just working. I'm on that wrestling grind, just got right back to wrestling. For you guys who don't know, I was an amateur wrestler in high school, but I stopped doing that to pursue becoming a pro wrestler. For those who don't know, in the simplest of terms, Randy Orton and John Cena. That's what I want to be. I want to start RKOing people out of nowhere and having someone yell at me on TV for doing it. That's pretty much what I've been up to. I'm a huge DC fan, huge DC nerd. I've read countless of Batman comics. So there's that. Happy you guys are here. Happy you guys are part of this. And let's get the show on the road. All right. So since now you guys know a little bit about us, a little bit about our nerd, I'm going to start off with something interesting. I'm going to start off with a little bit of an interesting topic, a little interesting discussion for our little nerdy minds here. We're going to talk about one of the biggest debates in nerd history. Which is better? Marvel or DC. And we're going to break this down into categories. So we're going to break it down from comic books. Then we're going to go to video games, animated series, and TV shows. We'll put that in the same category. And then lastly, we'll go to their respective movie universes.
You got that label that out because I don't remember any of that.
So guys, that's what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna start off with the comics, and
There's a huge echo.
yeah. Oh man,
I don't know how to fix that.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, you can be a part of that.
Well, Zach, that's the whole point of why we're doing this.
Put it up to your
That's the whole point of why we're doing this. We're, so you guys are live, so you guys can tell us anything, what you guys want to contribute, what you guys feel. Yeah, there is an echo. That's weird.
I think I fixed it.
Oh, that's a little better. That's a little better.
I think I fixed it, Zach.
All right,
Thank
so
you for
hopefully
pointing
that's fixed. This is our first time doing this, guys, so just kind of bear with us here. But yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's what's the first category?
We're gonna go over comics first.
Okay, comics. All right. So let me go first since I don't have as much experience.
Okay.
So, for my limited time of Marvel and DC Comics, I've seen that DC Comics have a deeper storyline other than good guy fight bad guy win, right? I know there's like a lot of iconic comics in Marvel, but like I feel like just from like our short conversations, like you have like the Batman the Killing Joke series. You have like the Batman Court of Owls series, which is a really good one.
Yes.
Flashpoint.
Yes.
Which like we already discussed previously on our own. Flashpoint is literally carrying the fucking DC universe right now. So make sure to turn that down a little bit. Yeah, there you go. So I think DC in regards to storytelling definitely has better comics. But I would like to know like when who started making comics first?
Oh man. I'm pretty sure.
Let's see.
I am pretty sure.
Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna bet money on this. I'm gonna bet money. $15 that it was DC Comics started first.
Why do you think that?
I'm 90% sure because Superman was the first hero, or it was Batman.
Okay.
Zach says DC too. For Zach, I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for $15. It's DC, and it was because either Batman or Superman were the first heroes.
All right, so I'm looking up a quick Google search.
Okay.
It looks like Marvel is October 1939.
Okay.
And DC is April 1939. So
You owe me money. You owe me money. So DC was first. Interesting. And it was
within like what?
Just by a
smidge.
few months. And then what was it? It was Superman first, right?
Superman 1938, you're saying, Zach? No. Really?
Dude, denying our audience. How dare you? Telling our audience that they're liars.
Comic. Oh, yeah, he's right. June 1938.
See? Man's fast on the computer.
Good job, Zach.
So DC was first.
And isn't Superman the most recognized superhero?
Oh, yeah.
in the
Oh,
whole
hands
world?
down. I think definitely the most recognized and the most influential superheroes has to be the Trinity. It has to. Which is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. I've grew up like my family's not huge into superheroes and comics, but I always grew up knowing who Batman was. not even like looking at comic books, just by being alive and knowing who Superman was and knowing who Wonder Woman was.
Right.
I had to. It didn't take until, for me at least, to start getting involved in comics when I was in late elementary school, early middle school, to hear about Iron Man, Captain America, and then the MCU movies came out, and then that's when they became a little bit more wider known. I will give Marvel this though: everyone knows Spider-Man.
Yes, that's true.
Everyone knows Spider-Man.
Yes.
So, as far as like really recognizable characters for Marvel, Spider-Man has to be at the very, very top of that list, and I think Captain America has to be a close second at least.
Well, yeah, because he's considered the first Avenger.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I just looked up too on here. It says that Wonder Woman came out in 1941.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually a pretty big big leap because like back then didn't really have many female protagonists.
Yeah.
And the only one around that time was Rosie the Riveter for
Yeah.
World War II.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that had anything to go along with it. But I think from the limited comics that Zach showed me, like in his collection, like they look like comics.
Yeah.
Especially since they're older ones, so they look like comics.
Yeah.
But like the ones that you've lent me, the more recent Marvel ones are just like really good stories.
Yeah.
Like really good.
This is Marvel.
No DC.
DC. Okay.
Yeah, DC, like the ones that you've lent me, DC, like the Flashpoint one that you gave me.
Yeah.
And I've read the Court of Owls a little bit, like just like you're like kind of like reading it, and then like. I don't know. I just there's always a stigma in my head that like Marvel comics are just like the Thanos copter,
Yeah.
And it's like it's interesting, but it's like it's kind of cartoonish.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my 2 cents. What is it? Marvel was creator made the lie detector. What?
Is that true? Can you look that up?
Wonder Woman's creator made the lie detector.
There's no way that's true.
I'm just gonna look at Wonder Woman lie detector. Jamie, pull that up.
So while he's searching that up, I'm just gonna also go with one of my favorite big differences between DC and Marvel is the villains, because for me, not only is there like Darkseid, like these big general villains that like the Justice League will face and whatnot. Like you have your Darkseid, you have Brainiac, which is also kind of a Superman villain more, but he's also a big Justice League villain. But there's just also those minute, smaller villains that make it very interesting. Like when I go to the comic book store and I find that in the new Detective Comics that there's a Riddler storyline, I'm like,
oh, I love Riddler.
I'm like, all right, they're bringing back Riddler. Let's see what they do with him. So, not only that, but like, you also have to think like, for me, I feel like Marvel, like, you guys have your good villains and stuff, but the 3 that I can mostly really think of that are like substantial is Thanos, Doctor Doom, and Red Skull. And I feel like those are like some of the more popular ones and the more influential or more important ones in the Marvel universe. Like you always hear about Thanos now because the MCU and stuff, but even when I was learning about the Marvel universe just through comics, I always was told about read the Infinity Gauntlet. Like that was always a big thing for people that wanted me to get started on it. So I feel like Marvel spends a ton of time on their heroes, and it puts a little bit of a backseat towards their villains a little bit. And
in regards to the comics?
In regards to the comics.
Yeah.
And then with regards to DC, there's just so many villains that, like, if you're, like, in that day, like, you know what? I don't know if I want to buy, like, the superhero comic. Like, I don't know if I want to read it. And then I remember just going to the comic book store and be like, wow, this is Deathstroke's in this? Mm-hmm. I just want to read a Deathstroke story because he's badass.
Yeah.
So, like, and there's just so many villains there. And I could sit here and name them all day. all them all day, and so I really think that adds like a certain level of depth for me as far as their comics go, because to be able to sell a comic book which is supposed to be about a hero story and you could sell it with a villain, that's extremely interesting.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say about that.
Well, just to go back to the Zach's thing, it is true. I
Is
looked
it?
it up. Yeah. He was a psychologist.
What?
Yeah, he's a psychologist who made Wonder Woman. So I don't know where Zach's pulling these fucking facts out of his ass, but that's impressive.
Got a lot of time on his hands.
That's impressive. I mean, he is the film dude.
He do be the film
Right,
dude.
that's what he's doing. So props to you, Zach, for knowing your stuff.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So like for me, basically summed it up is Marvel kind of like classic comic book.
Yeah.
Of like like Pam Zhao.
Yeah.
And then DC, like more story based. But that could also be the different time periods because I've only seen older Marvel comics, but that's just kind of like my view towards them.
Also had multiple partners apparently.
Sure.
Wonder Woman's creator had multiple partners.
That's kind of like the.
I feel like it's very common for that time.
like the Freudian ideology, right?
Yeah.
With all those guys.
Yeah, all the psychiatrists are like, nah, it's
fine.
for the mind.
It's fine.
Also, just to because again, I love Marvel as well. DC's just more my favorite, but not to also give Marvel a little bit of a comeback here. Definitely during like the earlier times, like from that point of like the 1970s to probably the mid 1990s, Marvel was cranking out a lot of good storylines, a lot of good, interesting things that were very different from DC. Was very cookie cutter. Batman wasn't as dark as as he is now. Superman was your stand-up goody two-shoes guy, so it was getting a little bit bland for a lot of people. Though that's a very controversial thing to say because a lot of people love that period of DC. I tend to think that the Marvel comics, especially Spider-Man during that time, was very, very interesting. Especially Captain America for me too, because Captain America is one of my favorite Marvel characters. He was going through all this cool Hydra stuff, and cool Russian stuff too that they were playing because of it was around that Cold War time. So I thought it was much more interesting in my opinion. But once you got to that turn of the century, DC wasn't doing as well as Marvel in the comics, so they're like, let's change some stuff up. So you had the storylines with Batman, with Death in the Family, where for those who don't know, Jason Todd dies.
Oh, okay, that's that story.
And that was like one of the first times that Batman was like, oh shit, like
yeah.
Like you saw Batman be vulnerable, and you saw him actually mess up,
right?
And the Joker get a really big win over him. So that was a big turning point, at least for my personal studies into these comic books. So, and then just through then, like they just kept updating and changing all these different characters, and kept like just listening to the audience, like listening to what they wanted. And then we saw books in the early 2000s like The Killing Joke. We had these great Justice League stories. I can't even pick one because they were all really good. And I think even now, it just, because of how much fanfare that they were giving, it brings us to the modern time where DC still has all these storylines going on that are just out of this world. Like, there's 3 Jokers. The comic book itself is not great.
Yeah.
They're expanding on it. It's not great right now. But even the thought process and the fact that they're using the literal existence of Batman to tell a story of 3 Jokers coexisting at once is a crazy thing no one thought about. And it wasn't even mentioned until the New 52, which was around the early 2010s. So it's like around that time where they're like, yeah, there's 3 of them. Like, that's a crazy thing to think about because one Joker is crazy enough on his own.
Right.
So like that concept has never even like came into my head. And during that time, while DC is innovating with that, restarting their universe, going through the Dark Side Wars with the Justice League and all these other things. All Marvel did was do another Civil War and just change every character to characters that no one wanted to see as superheroes. So that kind of put a big backslide on me, because they literally changed like Thor to Jane Foster, and I don't want you guys thinking it's because she's a girl or anything like that. That's not my issue. My issue is the whole point of Thor is that he's the son of Odin.
Right.
And he gets his power because he's worthy enough to...
So wait, so what you're saying is the Thor Love and Thunder movie that's going to come out is based off of the comic book?
From what I know right now,
Yeah.
it's going to be vaguely based off of it.
Okay,
because there's a rumor that says she's going to...
Well, yeah, because she's cast in it, and I thought they just kind of Disney just pulled that out of their ass, and they were like, "Oh, let's just make Thor a woman."
Oh, they do. They definitely pulled it out of their ass because Natalie Portman was like, "Yo, you guys are making money," like. So there's
Annie,
definitely
I love
that.
you.
Annie, I love you.
But going back to the point where you said that they listened to their audience, you just look at the fucking Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like I feel like I know this is kind of delving away from what we're talking about with the comics, but it's like with Marvel, you know, you look at their movies as like top tier, you know, and in their comics it's kind of like subpar now.
Yeah.
Which I could be wrong because I don't really read them, but that's just kind of in my head. I think a general view of everyone. Whereas on the flip side, DC's comics are great, but as we saw with like the first Justice League and Wonder Woman 1984, doo-doo, right? And it's weird because you would think with that solid foundation, like you said, like in the 90s, like when Marvel was making good comics, you would think that's what blasted them off into this like huge cinematic universe that they have. So why can't DC do the same thing? Yeah. And they could be right now. They might as well. Like the Snyder Cut, I think you and I can agree was pretty damn good. Yeah. It was fucking long as shit.
Oh yeah.
But I
save some time for yourselves to watch.
Yeah,
that.
I never saw the first one, and I enjoyed it. Like I actually enjoyed it. I didn't have to worry about any stupid mustache or anything. You know.
Stupid mustache.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it, and I really hope that. Like you said, because we looked at the history, you know, it's like if you have solid comics, you should be able to have solid movies because you have the good storytelling. Yeah. So I hope DC can, because like you said, like yes, these were comic book companies, but we're in the 21st century. It doesn't really matter about the comics anymore as much. You know what I mean? Like, and
that's fair.
As sad as that is, like that's where like the you know the root of these companies started. Yeah. It's all about movies now and cartoons and television shows, which I think you said what cartoons and TV might be another subject.
Yeah, that's gonna be another category. Which animated series and TV series together.
Like dipping into that a little bit, I think, in my opinion, DC did better in. Okay. Like I know, like there's the Ultimate Spider-Man. No. I love the animated Avengers when they were like the little kid ones and stuff. But like I said, like that's more for like kids. Yeah. But Drake Bell, oh my God, he's an awesome Spider-Man, dude. The guy from Drake and Josh. Yes, sure. He's great as Spider-Man. Yeah.
We also can't forget the meme.
The Spider-Man meme. But Teen Titans is just so good. Yeah. And Young Justice, I love Young Justice. I love Justice League. Yeah. I love Justice League, especially since those shows were the first time like I saw Shazam. Yes. Like we talked about before, I love Shazam.
We were talking about him in the car, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Shazam is such an underrated character, dude. Yeah. Like, and like that's the thing with me is like with Marvel and their characters, like. They feel a little bit more down to earth. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't have any like super god. Even like Thor isn't like super overkill. Yeah. And the only time we saw him overkill in the mainstream media was with, I would say like, you know, towards the end of his like film career in the phase 2, I think it was, right? Were we in phase 2? I forget which phase we were in.
Pretty sure it was phase 2.
I'm not sure, but like whichever phase we were in, which had you know,
I'm sure Zach will correct us in the chat. I'm sure
us.
He's typing right now. You keyboard warrior.
What was the Thor? Oh my God, I'm forgetting. With his sister. What was the name of that?
Ragnarok.
With Ragnarok,
Yeah.
Infinity War, and Endgame was when you saw him get his powers.
Yes.
But even he couldn't stop Thanos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like I feel like if it was Superman, you know, it's like a whole different thing because Superman's fucking Superman.
Yeah.
But that's another thing too is like there's different tiers, like you said. Like DC has really good villains.
Yeah.
Whereas like Marvel can kind of afford to have like a guy like Red Skull.
Yes.
And even though Doctor Doom's super OP,
Yeah.
like they haven't really shown him, like a guy like Ultron.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Ultron was put in the DC universe against the Justice
I
League.
forgot about Ultron.
Yeah, everyone forgets about
I'll
Ultron.
add him to that
dude.
villain list too.
Dude,
I always
Ultron
forget
is
about
so
him, man.
good, bro. Like I love Ultron. Everyone
He
knocks
gets
that
done
movie.
dirty in the movies, man. Like
He's-
that's an underrated movie in my opinion.
Dude, the guy who plays him, I forget his fucking name, but he is so good. He was
David
really-
Spade, I think.
Is it David? No, that's not David.
Not
Spade.
David Spade. Oh my God.
It's not David Spade.
He was in The Office.
You know, we're gonna look this up because this is something I need to
Not
look
David
up.
Spade.
Um,
Zach's yelling at us right now. Probably.
Ultron actor. Let's see. Where is he? Oh, let's just bring up all the people. I don't want to see the people. Oh yeah, James Spader.
There
you
it
go.
is.
That's what it is.
Oh,
There
he's
you
so
go.
good,
Yes,
man.
thank you,
So
Nate.
good.
Yep, Nate put it in there. Yeah, he's you know the fucking Lizard King. You know, like
Yeah.
he's good at like that evil charisma.
Oh yeah.
You're like you don't want to like him, but you do.
Yeah.
And that's different from Thanos, where you're like, I don't want to like him because of his ideology.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, Ultron is like, he's just so good with words, and I really like that movie. F in the chat for Quicksilver,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
they did us dirty in the fucking WandaVision show.
Getting way ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, this is going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But yeah. So back to TV shows. I as a kid, I watched like Spider-Man on the weekends and like, but like when I got older, like I would watch all the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I love Teen Titans. Like Beast Boy was so cool to me.
Yeah.
Robin was really cool, and then I saw Young Justice.
Yeah.
And Young Justice was really good.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it still had the components of like the Justice League, because I think the Justice League was made in like the early 2000s, so it's like a little bit outdated for like when we were kids.
Yeah.
And like when I mean kids, I mean like when we were like 12ish.
Yeah.
And in the 10s, they kind of updated it with Young Justice, and you had I don't remember the names, but I'm gonna try and list off like the main characters. You had it was Tim Drake, I think, right? It was Robin.
Yes. Yes.
You had I don't know, was Cyborg in it? I think he was. I don't remember.
This is Young Justice, or
Yeah, Young Justice.
I don't think
I don't think
Cyborg
Cyborg
was
was in
in
it.
Young Justice because he was
No.
in Teen Titans.
Yeah. You had Martian Manhunter's niece. She's
Yes.
a really good character. I liked her.
Yes. I always forget what her name is. I'm
Yeah,
the worst.
it's like Jile or whatever it is.
We'll call her Yaya.
Yeah. You had Superman's clone. I forget.
It's Superboy.
Superboy.
Yeah.
Superboy. I liked when they went into his like. I'm pretty sure he was played by Nolan North. I think. I really hope he was, because
That'd be interesting.
Nolan North is in everything, dude. He's in everything.
He is. Him and
Yeah.
Troy Baker.
And Roger Craig Smith.
Yes.
I love all of them.
Yes.
Do you know Roger Craig Smith is in regular show?
Is he?
Yeah, he plays like side characters.
No.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, he is.
Why is that so weird?
No, okay, no, wait. So this is a little tangent, right? So I was watching regular show on like the Cartoon Network app, and they like I think the animators were like on acid when they write the shows.
Oh, definitely.
And and he was like a blockbuster clerk, and he's like, yo man, I'm just watching this. I'm like, in my head, flashing. I'm like, that's Batman. That's Kyle Crane from Dying Light. That's Ezio. I'm like, I'm like, this must have been so much before his like career blew up. Cause I'm like, he's like an Apex Legends now. Like,
Yeah.
he's a part of everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's besides the point. Yeah, I really like Superboy, Aqualad.
Yeah.
I like Aqualad.
Aqualad is so cool.
I like Aqualad.
I love Aquaman, so I love Aqualad.
Yeah, Aqualad was a really good character. I don't know who else was in it. I know Superboy had a dog.
Super dog.
I don't. Oh, and then Wally West was in it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was really young.
I love Wally. Wally's a good character.
Yeah, I really like Wally West. And it was cool because like you could see their mentors like come every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, and they would train them. I think my only gripe was that the guy who played Batman wasn't not Kevin Costner. Fuck, what's his name? Kevin something, the guy who plays him in the Arkham series.
Yeah.
But,
I always forget his last name.
Yeah, I always forget.
I'm really bad with names, guys. So bear with me.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's my thing. So DC wins in comics and TV shows for me.
I'm gonna give DC the win in comics for me. Just to give a little, because you pretty much summed up a lot of what I had to say with the TV shows and stuff and the animated shows. But also, I'll just give you guys a little quick for me with that. I actually grew up not watching a lot of the animated stuff. The only things I've watched were, again, it was Teen Titans, because it was also on like late at night, but also really early in the morning. And we are buffering.
Are we?
We are.
Oof. It'd be like that. No, I think we're good.
Are we good? Okay, I think we're...
I'm just kidding. Ain't streaming on Twitch. I would have hosted you.
Alright, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't grow up watching the animated stuff as much. I did watch Teen Titans like everyone else did, because it was on super early in the morning, and I'd watch it at my aunt's house, and until I had to go to school. So I'd always catch. I had a huge crush on Starfire when I was younger.
Yes, sir.
Raven. Now that I'm an adult, I have a crush on Raven, but back then it was Starfire because she's wholesome, she was cute and stuff. But also from Marvel, I was big into the X-Men animated series.
That's one I neglected to mention. Yeah, that's true.
I couldn't. If you asked me like an episode and something that happened in that episode, I could not tell you. I have not watched it since I was wearing a size small. So I was like 5-6 years old. So long time ago. But I love both those shows. I like Teen Titans more because I could relate a little bit more with those characters. I also, again, huge crush on Starfire. Can't get enough of her. So there was that. Also, that's where my love of Deathstroke came from. Was Slade. His name was Slade during that because they couldn't put Death on Cartoon Network, so his name was just Slade, and that's where my love for him started because I was like, this is a cool character, and I think they went. They were in this one season where things just got like really dark on the Teen Titans, and it was just like a pretty dark season for Cartoon Network. And that's the season I loved. That's my favorite season. That's probably the reason why they got canceled. So right off the bat, there's like a little edge for me when it comes to DC. But for a while there, I didn't watch a lot of animated stuff until I got to like high school. Because my comic book love around that time grew even more. So I started to go back and really watch both sides. This like, what did I like? What didn't I like? I hate to say it, Zach. I tried watching Spider-Man in like sophomore year.
Which one?
I think it's like old one, like one of the the original one.
Like the one that's like looks like it's like a comic book on it.
Yeah,
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I just couldn't get through it because it just didn't age well. So there was definitely that, but at the same time, I also watched Batman the animated series. And I loved it because because of that. There is in the first season, for the first few episodes, you have the Joker's in it, of course, and I'm a huge Joker fan, and it was played by this one guy, and then all of a sudden he has a different voice, and it was played by Mark Hamill, and I fell instantly in love with it. And around that time in the first season, the guy who was playing Batman, Kevin something, he started developing an understanding for the character of Batman, and just watching them vibe on TV was amazing. It was awesome.
I'm gonna look up his name because I need to know his name.
Yeah. So I loved it, and I watched the whole Batman animated series, and I even dedicate time every year now to watch Batman the animated series, and I just
Kevin Conroy. That's who
Kevin
it is.
Conroy.
Yeah, Kevin
Yes.
Conroy. God damn, dude, Zach's on fire, man. He just like knows everything, bro. Jesus Christ.
So yeah.
But
So
I gotta stop you right there because this is, I think Zach's in agreement with me. I hope you are. Fuck Aaron because Batman Brave and the Bold is a great show, and I will go to my grave for that because I love that fucking show.
I like Batman Brave and the Bold. I am a bigger fan of the animated series.
No, I agree. But Brave and the Bold is yes.
Oh, it's definitely worth a watch.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, 100% Zach, you will be a guest. 100%. Your knowledge is grades above ours.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm stupid. So
yeah, we're big stoop.
Yeah, we're putting this basically on layman's terms. So yeah, definitely.
Yes, Nate. Yes. See, we have Brave and the Bold lovers. Yes.
Know what? Know what I want for the next one?
What?
Know what I want for the next one? I want Zach and Aaron on the next one.
Oh God.
Zach and Aaron on the next one.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And let's just see what happens. Bring up some interesting conversations like this.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And see what happens.
I mean, I think Zach could win purely through comic book intelligence.
But Aaron has that he's got
that fire behind him.
He's got that minority fire in him. I can say that I'm Puerto Rican. So,
oh my God.
Anyway,
wait, what are you doing this? I'm also submitting the sleepover short film to the Hudson Valley Film Festival. Oh, you did tell me that. Oh my God, he's submitting to a film festival, bro.
Let's go.
But Zach, how does that gonna work? Because we curse so much in it. How does that?
Well, Saw was in a film festival before it became famous.
Is there? I mean, I know. Why am I even say it's Saw?
It's Saw, bro.
I guess there's no rating on it or restrictions on it.
Yeah,
it's all good. All right. Well, you let us know what happens with that.
So yeah, animated series, loved it. And then I did something that I thought I would never do because I hate the character. I watched the Superman animated series. And at first, I despised it because I do not like Superman. Anyone who knows me knows that I don't like Superman. But when it started getting to the later seasons, again, I fell in love with it. It's very good. Just watching Superman and Darkseid's dynamic and Superman and Lois's dynamic in the later seasons when she's kind of like, do you really need to be a superhero all the time?
Right.
So it's very interesting to me. And then I also was watching around that time The Avengers.
Yes, The Avengers was a really good show. Oh, B, remember the Bumblebee lady?
Yeah.
Oh, she was awesome. Yeah, that was a good show.
And I was instantly hooked on The Avengers one.
Yes.
More than I was with the Superman one. So my point for that one goes to Marvel. But I think the nail in the coffin for me was Young Justice was so good to me. So good. I love Young Justice. But the big nail in the coffin was Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
I know it's not hugely popular. To me, I thought it was great. Just watching all those different characters that we haven't seen before.
That's the one with the expanded Justice League, right? There's so many people in it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was the first time I met or seen John Stewart. For you who don't know, that is the African American Green Lantern.
Dude, I love that guy. He's such a good character. Yeah. I would honestly, because I know he's not the original, right? Considered Green Lantern, isn't Hal
he's
Jordan.
before.
He's before Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, so bring him back, bro. Fuck off with Ryan Reynolds, Green Lantern. Bring back John Stewart. I thought it went Hal Jordan and then John Stewart, but
no, it was John Stewart and then Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan is just there's four of them.
Okay.
There's Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner,
yeah.
John Stewart, and then Hal Jordan.
Okay.
Not in that order. I think now I'm thinking about it, I think John Stewart was first. But Hal Jordan, which sets him different from all the other four, is just his pure willpower.
Young Justice 3. I don't know, what is Young Justice 3? I don't think I watched that.
That's on HBO Max.
Is it new?
Really recommend it.
Is it new or old?
It's not old. It's newer, 2019.
There's a lot of DC stuff I gotta watch. I want to watch the Harley Quinn show.
Dude,
I heard that's so funny.
When Gabby gave me her HBO Plus, I watched all the animated stuff already. It's just her queue is just lined up with all the animated stuff.
Oh, it's just the third season? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, see, okay, for me, I've been on the anime grind, so, I'm a little out of my league right now. Yeah. But you bring up Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen or any of those things. Or Demon Slayer, the Demon Slayer movie, which you have to see.
I do. I gotta watch Demon Slayer.
But that's
together.
that's different. Yeah, no, I totally forgot of the Avengers. I would think, so in general for me for shows it goes to Marvel, but the Avengers show, It was beautiful. It was so good. Because Thor was Thor.
Yeah.
Like, Tony Stark was Tony Stark, you know? And I was like, oh my god, it was so good.
So just to finish up on this category, I gotta give it to DC again because
well,
it's just
you have to think about it too. The CW verse, does that count in this?
Do you want to put that in this category?
Or are we gonna do like normal?
Because we could separate that category because Marvel and DC both did shows.
Well, what shows did Marvel do? I don't even know if Marvel did shows.
They did The Shield.
Oh.
They did The Shield.
And they did Peggy Carter too.
So
right?
I feel like we should probably
separate it.
We should probably separate it because they also did have.
Yeah, I know, Zach. That's why I mentioned.
You know, we can even talk about the new shows with them too. Because they did do the new shows.
Alright, so you're saying you give it to DC?
I'm giving animated to DC just because, for the sole reason, it was consistently good to me.
Yes, agreed.
Throughout the shows.
Marvel
is ups and downs, but DC was consistently good. So going into the next category that Liam already touched on,
I got this one.
Are going to talk about the shows, and Liam's itching.
Yeah, okay.
Itching.
All right, so disclaimer. I didn't finish Daredevil, and I didn't finish Punisher.
You whore.
Okay, yeah, I know. I have to do that, but like I said, anime grind. My first live-action superhero show was The Flash on CW. Or CW, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved the first season. Great. I love the visuals. I really like the guy who plays Barry Allen. The guy who plays Eber Thawne is great. Iris could be a little bit better, but she got steadily worse for all of us. I liked his like sidekicks, like the scientist guys. But then that was it. Like, it just got so bad after that, and there's nothing recovering from it, which sucks because there's so much potential for it. But I get it. It's like a show and it has a budget.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna lie. I think my first one might have been Shield, Agents of Shield.
Really?
One of the first two. They were one of the first two. I did like Agents of Shield. I watched the first season or two of that. I liked that Colton was in it.
Yeah.
I liked that they kept that consistent. That was pretty cool. I like the I don't know her name, but she's in The Mandalorian. The Asian lady.
The Asian lady.
Yeah, she was with Boba.
Nate, this one's for you, buddy.
Yeah, Nate, tell us the name of the actress if you could. Do some. I don't even know if he's here anymore, but
yeah, he may not be here.
Oh my God, Zach, Ming-Na Wen. Jesus Christ, man, he's not on it. That lady, that's who it is. Yeah, she's really good. Oh my God, Nate got it too. Look at these guys.
These boys fact checking us.
Yes, I really liked her in it. I think there was another like girl that's supposed to be the pretty girl. She was okay.
Yeah.
And then there was like the pretty guy, you know. And I think he deceived them or something. It was good, right? It was pretty good, but then I just kind of fell off of it.
Yeah.
I never watched Peggy Carter. I think that was a show. Yeah. I watched a little bit of Arrow, and I heard that was pretty decent. You can talk more on that. Yeah. I just never really got interested in it because like, I don't know, the CW, like, it gets really old after a little bit. Yeah. Like, they rely a little bit too much on VFX when they obviously cannot afford it.
Yeah.
So, but the Netflix Marvel shows hit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one, I think most of us watched was Daredevil, which is just instant hit. Great choreography.
Oh, yeah.
Great music, great writing. The guy who plays him is amazing. Yeah. Like, you know, like the blind thing that he does. Like, oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. And yes, I know I still have to finish it, but, and then I think I watched almost all of the Iron Fist, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
That was okay. Yeah. That was alright. Luke Cage was pretty good. I like Luke Cage. Yeah. I like the first season of Luke Cage. I think they made a second season.
They did.
I didn't watch all of that, but I like the first season of Luke Cage. I didn't watch the lady one. What's her name?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones. I didn't watch her. Fun fact, she's the girl that overdoses in Breaking Bad.
Is she?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. She's the one that...
I didn't finish Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Yell at me.
Yell at me. Arrow peaked at season 2. Everything was straight garbage. That's what I've heard, Nate. I heard it was like only good in the first couple seasons. But yeah. When they come together, I watched that one. Was it Defenders?
Yes.
Defenders, right?
Yeah.
I actually thought that was pretty decent. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And it was nice because then I can just start up. Because I remember the ending of it. So I can just start up season 3 whenever I want.
Yeah.
But Punisher, holy cannolis, Punisher, dude! Oh my god, what's his name? Who plays him?
Jon Bernthal.
Jon Bernthal. Oh,
My daddy.
Love Jon Bernthal.
Jon Bernthal.
I just love the, like what he does. Oh yeah, and I love the guy who played the villain too, because he was the guy from Prince Caspian.
Yes.
He's really good. And I liked his black friend that was in like the Spec Ops team with him. He was a really good character. Like all like the side characters in all the shows are like strong characters. You know what I mean? And I feel like, like it's kind of opposite. Like with like the CW, I always felt like there's like that forced humor with like the side characters and like the goofy side characters. And in Marvel, you have like serious stuff. Even with Daredevil, who's not supposed to be super serious.
Yeah.
But like kind of serious. Like it's a very dark tone show.
Yeah.
Even Iron Fist wasn't like super light and hearty, you know. So I really enjoyed those, and I really hope they bring back the guy to play Matthew Murdock again, because he was a perfect Daredevil in my opinion. Yeah. So for live action, as much as I love the Flash and the character, I'm probably gonna have to give it to Marvel. I didn't watch Smallville, Zach. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Maybe I'll watch it one day. But yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one to Marvel.
Okay. My turn. I would just address Smallville off the bat. Smallville frustrated me because I had to wait 9 seasons to watch Superman fly.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir.
9 seasons?
It's like 8 or 9 seasons until he flies.
So I'm guessing it's more about Clark Kent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Right.
So for me, 10 seasons, proving my point. I am not waiting that long to watch Superman fly.
Yeah,
it's not happening. I'm watching a Superman show to watch Superman, not Clark Kent. It's like watching a Batman show to talk about Alfred. Alfred's great and all,
but that one
over time
where Alfred beats the shit out of Superman,
yes, is very satisfying.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, you're right.
So for that show, no. CW, I'm one of the few that liked Arrow till like season 5.
That's pretty deep.
Season 5, I liked it, yeah. And then that's when they started really adding a ton of superheroes. Because before then, you had Speedy, you had Red Arrow, and you know, like it was a few sidekicks. And then the crossovers with Flash I thought were cool. And then they started adding a lot of superheroes. And I'm like, there's just no need. There's no need. It's Green Arrow. It's not Green Arrow. It is quiver of heroes. Like,
well, do they add like other like Arrow heroes? Is that what it was? Or,
no,
like...
it's not even just that. Just heroes that like Mr. Terrific. That just had no point of being there. Like, in my opinion, like he had to justify his purpose there, and he didn't. He's nothing special. He's literally nothing special. So that's when I started falling off, and also I so believe they would have done better if Deathstroke was pushed further into the show.
Oh, he was on
and built
there?
up to it because he was season 2. Deathstroke was season 2, so they used him way too soon.
Did they use the same guy for Deathstroke and Justice League? Is that the same actor or no?
No, that's a different guy.
Okay.
The Deathstroke on Arrow is really good, really good.
Oh, isn't there I didn't even think about it. Isn't there a CW show with Supergirl?
There is Supergirl. Sucks. Don't even watch it.
And is Superman in that one? Or
Superman has his own CW show now.
He does.
But the same Superman was in.
That guy looks awful as Superman from
Yeah.
the pictures I've seen.
Yeah.
And I remember I watched like a couple like where like some of the shows were like put together.
Yeah.
And you had to watch each individual television show to get like the whole story.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm just gonna watch the Flash one.
Yeah.
And I watched you guys probably know Corridor Digital. They do like VFX breakdowns.
Yeah.
And like it looks like they just took Supergirl and just like took her on like Adobe, you know, whatever it was, and just moved her like
oh
this.
My god.
It's so bad. Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, that was my big falling out with Green Arrow. Flash, I like Flash for like the first 3 seasons. Well, no, I liked it for the first 4. What really messed me up with it was the Flashpoint season, because I get you doing your own original vision. I'm always supportive of directors and writers when they do that. The thing is, there's only so far you can stray away from material. Mm-hmm. There's only so far. There's only so much leeway there. Mm-hmm. And they took Flashpoint, went, all right, he'll save his mom. Sure. But everything else around that whole premise of the story is out the window. Yeah. And Flashpoint is one of the greatest DC storylines of all time.
Agreed.
So why not use that as your outline? So that was a big issue for me. And again, the same issue as Arrow is too many superheroes, not focusing on the Flash. Everyone became a metahuman at some point. Mm-hmm. Which was really stupid. Iris was becoming a bigger character, and she's really annoying.
Yep.
Which really bothered me. And Wally West, they got rid of him at some point to put him on DC Legends of Tomorrow. And I was like, no, he doesn't belong there because he still needs training with the Flash. So I was like, this sucks. And every villain after Eobard Thawne and Zoom is just useless. Like Savitar, I don't care about. Godspeed, I don't care about. Yeah. One thing I will give the Flash I thought was super cool was when they brought back the original Flash.
Yes.
From the 1990 show.
And it was his dad.
Yep.
Like it was the different universe. Yeah.
Yep. It was Jay Garrick. So I was like, that was really cool.
I like that.
They also ruined Eobard Thawne by making them pulling a good version of him from a different universe and just complicating the character way too much.
Yeah, I never really understood that because I was like the twist was good.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't stick to it.
Yeah.
You know, which I think they had to that was one of those decisions where they had to stick.
Yeah.
To it.
So Flash fell off for me again. So at this point, watching both those shows is like, there's no consistency.
Right.
DC Legends of Tomorrow fell off at the second season. Was not interested. Mm-hmm. Again.
I never watched it.
It just wasn't interesting to me. Supergirl, I tried, ladies and gentlemen, to like that show.
Yeah.
I tried very hard. I put my Superman bias away, but I always liked Supergirl. Even though I don't like Superman, I've always liked Supergirl. Mm-hmm. And I tried, but there's a point, like, we were going through that time of the Me Too movement and the time of the woman empowering stuff, which is fine. You know, you girls do.
But when you demonize men, it's just not enjoyable.
There's that, and then just the constant pushing of your political ideals. That is just not necessary.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one it is. It's just like, like when you watch, like I remember this is something like going back to The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Which something get me started. But it's like there's an argument of, yes, there are some pieces of entertainment where politics are important.
Yeah.
Like the Bourne series.
Yeah.
But like something like a DC show, especially a CW show.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like people are watching that because they want to see Supergirl.
Yeah.
They want to see Superman. Like they don't want to think about it,
Yeah.
And it's like if you're one of those people that are agreeing with what they're saying, they're just baiting you in because they want more views. You know what I mean? So it's like
not only that for me, it was oh boy, hey Finn.
Boy,
not only that, it's these are these shows are geared toward kids, and to have these kids essentially, the first thing they're seeing is just nothing about politics and ideals pressed on them. It's just unnecessary. The kids just want to see these superheroes be heroes. They'll learn about that stuff as they get older. So that I had an issue with. That and Superman sucked in it. But I'm a little biased, as you guys know. So didn't like that show. And I'm trying to remember the other DC shows there were. Oh, Titans. Love Titans. Nothing but good stuff to say about Titans. Love Titans. Loved it. Thought it was great. Swamp Thing needed some more time. I don't know why they got rid of it so fast. They didn't even give Swamp Thing a chance. If you ever get some time to watch something really quick, Swamp Thing's really good. So just to finish off with DC, but then Marvel just consistently cranked out good shows. I didn't watch Jessica Jones. Just wasn't interested in the character. I liked her more as a side piece. Well, not a side piece. A character that working with other characters. Right. So I liked her more with while she was working with Luke Cage in the Defenders and stuff like that. I liked her more there. Daredevil, nothing but good to say about it. Loved Daredevil. I loved Kingpin. I thought he was so interesting. The dude from Full Metal Jacket. So I loved him. I thought he was great. The Punisher is one of my favorite Marvel shows. Again, John Bernthal. I have a huge crush on that man. So there is that. Luke Cage, I loved. I also loved just him in Harlem and stuff like that. Just playing. Like they used the race dynamic in it, but I felt like they used it to a good effect.
Yeah, I think there's like something like, because obviously like I'm a different race than Luke Cage, so take that as what you will. But I think like there's different ways to go about it, and like he was like proud of his heritage, and it wasn't like a victim complex or anything. That sometimes they do with shows like that. So like it was like that's what fueled him, and I thought that was like a really strong point of the show. Yeah, for me well, that's I guess if you're talking about shows too, you could also talk about the new like WandaVision and Falcon, which I liked. WandaVision, what they did with Pietro was fucked up. Yeah. When they brought him in and then they were like, psych, that's not happening.
That's not happening.
I liked Falcon. I didn't think it was great. I expected more out of it, to be honest. Yeah. I really like the guy who plays, was like U.S. Agent is his name, I think.
Yeah, it was like Wyatt or something like that.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I thought the whole thing with because they were bringing the racial stuff into it, I thought it was like a little bit. I was talking to my friend about this, and obviously yes, there's like racial tension in the United States. It's always been here. That's always something. But I always saw Falcon not as Black Falcon, but as like Sam, like. Yeah. And I never really thought of him as like a different, different. Yeah. But like they push it in the show that he's like, everyone looks at me different. And I'm like, I don't. You know what I mean? Like I don't think a lot of viewers do. And I get it in the show, it's different, like from the actual world. Yeah. But like I thought that was a difference between Luke Cage and the way they did it in the Falcon. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it felt a little bit more forced. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's because we've already seen Falcon in movies and stuff, and no one's ever touched on his race before. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, when Luke Cage was first made, it was surrounding his race because that was the culture he was around. Yeah. But Falcon's gone all over the world, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, Luke Cage's problems were just in, you said Harlem, right? Yeah, it's just Harlem. So, like, obviously the culture is going to be surrounding. Whereas, like, Falcon, there was this one super soldier that was black, and, he had horrible things done to him. So that means everyone hates you. And I'm like, well, times are different, and like, I like that they introduced Isaiah. Did you finish the Falcon?
Yeah, I finished.
Yeah. So I like how they introduced Isaiah, and I like that, they gave him a memorial. That was good and all. And I like the history of, like obviously the government fucking sucks. Yeah. But like, it's like, don't put a victim complex onto Black Falcon because he's never had one. Yeah. And you can see his mentality in the show too. Like he doesn't see himself as a victim. Yeah. And so, maybe that's because they were filming it during all that, stuff that happened over the past year. Yeah. But that's my 2 cents on it. It was a good show, but I think it could have been a little bit better, in my opinion.
To piggyback off of what you're saying, for me, I liked WandaVision more because not because I'm gonna get a little sensitive with you guys. I love, and I feel like a lot of the saturated, like the market of like either like a romance or even action movies and comic book movies as of right now is a little bit saturated by itself because of the fatigue that's in it. Mm-hmm. But this was just such a different take.
Oh, it was so weird.
So different. It was so like you can't even put WandaVision in a category of show because it bounces to so many different things. It was an action show. It was a sci-fi show at times. It was even some people could even argue it was a little horror-y at some points. It was romance. It was beautiful, and just the way they build the relationship between Wanda and Vision is crazy. And one thing is, like, during the show where they were starting to point Wanda as the villain, I never saw her as the villain. For the reason is, if you have that power to bring back just even a form of someone that you truly love, whether it's a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or a family member, like, you can't sit here and tell me that you wouldn't even consider it.
Yeah.
Like, I will perfectly tell you if I lost I don't know, I'll use you an example. If I lost Liam, I'd be like, you know what? Liam's my best friend. Miss my friend. Bring him back because I have that power to. That's just the human experience. She just has the unfortunate circumstance of having that power.
Right.
And I just think that's so interesting because you can't really look at her as 100% villain. Then you learn out that she's really not the villain of the story. But I think also just something that interested me about that story, if you'll allow me, is that there wasn't really a huge big baddie. Like granted, we had Agatha was trying to manipulate things,
right,
and do all that crazy stuff, but I don't think that was like the overarching.
Well, yeah, because it was surrounded in mystery, which was nice. You know, you kind of like we're trying to figure it out with the characters, and it wasn't like like Justice League. You know, like where you're like there's just one big looming guy.
It's just Steppenwolf's the dude, and Darkseid is I think if you really, and maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, I think the real bad guy in it is grieving.
Right.
I think that's the real big baddie that's in it, because just throughout the whole show, Wanda is just grieving Vision. Even though Vision is in front of her and alive to some extent, she's still grieving his loss because she knows that's not him. So I loved the dynamic. I loved both of them as actors, and just their chemistry is just next level. And Vision is a next level actor. I'm also happy that he said he will always play Vision. So I'm very happy he said that. So there was that for me. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I liked it. I did, but I don't know. It was just something there for me where I just wasn't enjoying it as much. I think for me with WandaVision, it was very complex. Yeah. And I was hoping that Falcon and the Winter Soldier would be on that level of complexity.
Definitely like comparing it to them, and it's kind of like it seems more of like a streamlined story rather than WandaVision. So,
like I get the whole the race angle. I understand it because of the way the world is now that they wanted to play it. I wish they put as much time and attentive energy, if they're going to go down this route, as WandaVision did with Wanda's battle against grief. Right. I wish if they were going to do it, they made it as complex and as thoughtful. Hey, Finn. So that was one thing that I kind of really wish they did.
Yeah.
Rather than them just saying, "Oh, well, it looks the Black Falcon." It's like no one has ever called you Black Falcon until this show.
Well, like he's been the Black Falcon, but like I don't think it's just like you know, I just call him Black Falcon because I thought it was his name. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking it's like because he's black. You know what I mean? I think like my gripe with it is like not that they used race. It's just like it seemed too easy to use race. Yeah. And like like with Wanda, they use all these complex like ways of storytelling. Yeah. And what was it? The Flag Smashers? Yes, the Flag Smashers were definitely underdeveloped, 100%. Yeah, I agree with that. Too. And like, like I'll touch on that in a second. But like like with Sam, like they could have gone more into his family dynamic, which I liked. I liked that they did that. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't continue that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then that's like maybe you could bring the race thing out of that. You know what I mean? So I would have wished they'd done that. But the Flag Smashers, I 100% agree, were kind of really underdeveloped. And
we had millions of people, and we saw like 15.
Yeah,
15 of them. Like
one world, one people, or something like that. And it's like the classic, like like I get because Sam's character is he's very he wants to help people and stuff. Yeah, and he's like she's smart, but if she was smart, like what she was doing towards the end was like terroristic, and she wouldn't have known that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I agree. The Flag Smashers were I would have wished they would be a little bit more fleshed out, and I thought they were going to be in the beginning.
Yeah.
But they kind of fell apart. But like with WandaVision, I want to touch on like another good thing I liked about it is like you said it was like so many different genres, and it's funny because like like people will criticize the show and they'll be like, oh, like this should be action, but it's kind of being like horror and comedy. WandaVision literally put it in your face like we're a comedy this episode, and now we're gonna be this episode, and then we just accepted it because it was so well done. Yeah. My one gripe is with the lady that comes back from the blip. What's her name?
Are you talking about the agent girl who gets powers eventually? Like the main.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't remember her name. I know it was like
I know who you're talking about though. Like she's like the main chick.
Yeah.
Monica, according to Nate.
What was it, Monica? Rambo. Yeah, Rambo. Yeah. So I really liked her character, like the first half of the season, and then she started getting this hero complex that kind of was illogical to her character. It seemed like she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna run into the thing, and you're like, we just saw like a vehicle like explode. You know what I mean? It's like, so. Yeah, I think that was like a hero complex that the writers kind of pushed on her that like I didn't agree with. Yeah. Because while she was a hero, it seemed a little like plot armor hero-ish. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like WandaVision like was a one that like like touched my heart. I'm like, oh my god, like you gotta let your kids go, you gotta let Vision go, and like that was disappointing with me because like I was like. That was the one show that they trolled all of their viewers. Yeah. Because they knew that you got all these people like us scheming that were like, oh my god, it's gonna be like the multiverse. This is how the multiverse opens up. But they're gonna introduce the new Quicksilver. The twins are gonna come in. The twins have powers, and then boom, it's all gone. Yeah. And they're like, see that? Fuck you guys. Like we can do that. Yeah. So that was disappointing that the theories didn't come to light. But at the same time, I trust the Marvel writers. They've done well over the past decade. Yeah. I think, especially with Doctor Strange. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And it was interesting seeing her read the book at the end. Yeah. So, what can come of that. And I've heard theories saying that like she might be bad, blah, blah, blah. But
I hope so.
But yeah, for me, to wrap this subject up, Marvel shows live action, definite win. Yeah. Definite win. 100%.
Yeah. I'm in agreement. Marvel.
But we didn't even mention Gotham, but...
Gotham's the only good one, bros.
I didn't even watch Gotham.
Gotham and Titans are like.
But that's besides the point. So you say
Marvel's got the win for me.
I think it's obvious though with the movies one. Do we even really have to go flesh that out? Cause
we're not gonna even talk about the movies
because we already know what the movies answer is.
I would like to talk about the video games though.
Well, you're just gonna suck up to fucking Injustice the whole
time.
No,
that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Because I was actually I was mainly gonna compare Arkham and Spider-Man.
Oh, can you even do that though? Is that even fair?
Yeah, dude, both of them are good. Both of them are good, made by the same studio. No. Insomniac made Spider-Man. Yeah. But the big thing I want to talk about was the combat. Is because Arkham did.
It's 2 versus 3 games. Okay, all right, that's fair. So let's compare the first. Started pretty much. Okay, all right, that's fair. All right, so let's compare Arkham Asylum to the first Spider-Man.
Okay, that's fine. When it comes to story, we'll break it down by category, subcategories. I'll go story first. For me. I liked Arkham Asylum more, because they've had Mark Hamill and they had Kevin again, and both of them are good. They have great chemistry, but I also just the story of you actually getting to play as Batman and watching him like go through what he goes through in the asylum, having to beat down the Joker, thinking about how far he's going to have to go to beat the Joker. What if he's gonna have to cross that line? Having to talk to the other villains and the way he reacts, that's those Scarecrow moments.
Dude, the Killer Croc one.
Killer Croc was terrifying.
Oh my god,
very terrifying. So there's that. And then I want to go to combat. Was Arkham Asylum for its time.
Yes.
Its combat was bar none for a superhero game. No other superhero game pulled out what you could do in Arkham Asylum with the flow of attacks, the different
I think it was
gadgets.
a basis for most games.
Yeah, it became a basis.
I wouldn't necessarily. The Witcher it's similar to it. That came out later. Mordor, what you know what I'm talking about, the Mordor games. Yeah. That was similar to it. I think Spider-Man definitely drew. From it. There's so many other ones that you could probably mention. Yeah. But yeah, go ahead and continue.
So there was that for its time. It was great. It wasn't perfect. But it was good. Now going back to Spider-Man. For me, the story for Spider-Man was it's a little slower, in my opinion, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the payout at the end is great.
I liked it.
You know, with the twist and all the different villains that they throw at you at once is crazy. It's not like Arkham where you take one down after another.
Right.
It was you're fighting these villains, and then all of a sudden the twist happens, and you're fighting them all again.
Right.
And like together, so that it was very interesting. It's very well put together.
And the web slinging.
The web swinging was really good. Very good.
Which by the way, like I played the Amazing Spider-Man games on like Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And those had decent web slinging, and I actually like the story in those too, which is like they're pretty good. But like the new Spider-Man that came out a couple years ago, oh my god, the web slinging's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then as far as combat goes, I actually prefer the combat in Spider-Man because over Asylum.
Okay.
Because Asylum was the base, and then through all this time, Spider-Man was able to fix it, revamp it. It flowed very well. It wasn't. You could go slow if you wanted. You could go fast if you wanted. You could use gadgets if you wanted. You could not use gadgets if you want. It was very versatile, and the combat directly reflected Spider-Man as a character. And in the Arkham series, you don't see that until Arkham 3 for Batman.
What, Arkham Knight?
Or Arkham Knight, I mean, yeah.
I would have to say Arkham City did improve a lot.
It did improve.
Arkham Asylum.
But you don't get the brutality that you get with Batman until you get to Arkham Knight.
Yes. There's some decent brutality things in Arkham Origins, so I have to say, because this character is a little grittier. So, but yeah, Spider-Man, I like the gameplay. It's flowed really well. But I didn't play the Miles Morales one because I don't got PS5. Dude, I just like my first Batman game was City.
Yeah,
I really love City. The storyline to it's great. The environment's great. Yeah. Like I can play that game like 20 times over and go through that same courthouse intro every single time, and I'll love it.
Yeah.
I think like for the time, like the combat was a little bit faster paced, but not too fast paced like Knight was.
Yeah.
Which I think we both agree with Knight. They relied way too much on the Batmobile.
No, I don't want to talk
the bad
about
tank. The bad tank, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
They kind of just make it like, and you can't even like put other people in it or anything. You know what I mean? Like you can't really use it like people would intend to.
Yeah.
But I really like the environments. I have to say, Asylum, good story. The combat is like slow for me because I played City and then I went back to Asylum.
Yeah.
The environments are good. It's kind of a pain in the ass running through everything, you know. Which in the City you can just kind of like glide everywhere. And even Origins too, you can glide everywhere. So I think Origins and Asylum have really good maps. And then Knight's just on a different scale, obviously, because it came out so much later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Games is harder if we're just looking at these two, but you probably have other games you're thinking of.
Yes, I always do. So. There's a Captain America game, if you guys didn't know that. It sucked.
Damn.
So there's that. But for me, the Comeback Kid for Marvel games were the Ultimate Alliance series.
I never played that.
Oh, dude, recommend it.
Yeah.
They're dated, and it feels dated. But it was just fun playing as a bunch of different Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to play the story. Like, just to play as Wolverine. It was awesome. You know, like, you can set up, like, it was like 4-man squads. You set up, like, Wolverine, Thor, and Iron Man with, I don't know, Spider-Girl if you wanted.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's like crazy combinations, and it was interesting. It was fun. And also great playing with your friends. I played with that with my sister. And that was just a lot of fun. And so there's that. And another good one for Marvel for me was X-Men Origins Wolverine game. Because it was brutal.
Yeah.
It was brutal. You get hit with like a rocket launcher and like a piece of your body just fell off.
Sheesh.
Like, it was crazy. I didn't play Alliance 3. I didn't because I don't have a Switch. I want to, but I never got to because I don't have a Switch. X-Men Origins again. Was very good. I liked that one. That was like my first superhero game I actually beat when I was younger. So I really like that one. Then I like the Arkham trilogy. Injustice, everyone knows I love. I absolutely adore Injustice. But DC had a really shitty Superman game.
Did they really?
Oh, it was really bad. Really bad.
So they have made a Superman game before.
Yeah, it's just super bad. It's super old.
I played a Superman game on the, I don't know if you know this, but it's like an orange console called the VTech.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, like a 2D side scroller.
Yeah.
But did they make like a 3D Superman game?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
they did?
3D. It was terrible.
Huh.
Marvel also had an Iron Man game. I loved that when I was young. Just because the movie came out, you could just play as Iron Man and just float around like pew pew pew. Like that was cool. I thought that was fun. That was a great time. So that was a good time. Then there was Incredible Hulk game, which was if you're a kid, you could just run around the city, just cause pure destruction. So that was a lot of fun. That was a great time. There's different Hulk skins, so you could be like Red Hulk, Detective Hulk. There's Marvel's Avengers.
Did you talk about the new one that came out?
No, we're not going to even talk about that one. That one was crap. So there's that. I'm trying to think for Marvel. I know I'm missing one. Oh, there's all those Spider-Man games before even the new Spider-Mans.
I like the Amazing Spider-Man ones, the ones that kind of follow the movie.
Yeah.
Those ones are pretty decent, like with Lizard and all that. The only memories I really have of Marvel is like the Lego Marvel games where you could like free roam and stuff, and DC did that too, and those were both freaking fun for no reason.
Yeah.
But for me personally, just from my personal experience, I'm gonna have to give it to DC just because of the Batman, the Arkham series is just so good.
Yeah,
it's so good, and like I should probably play Miles Morales, but like I don't even think that's gonna change my mind, you know, because it's just like it's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good. But we even talk about Miles into the Spider-Verse for what would that be?
Well,
like
that's movies.
That's movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does count.
We all know.
Yeah, Marvel's already got that.
So don't even.
So we got. You give your thing, and then we'll count out the score at the end.
With all the good games that Marvel does have, that are more or less known for some reason, DC with Arkham it was consistent. It was consistently good. Despite Batmobile or not, it was a good game. I had a lot of fun, and it was a lot of characters, and I have a lot of memories. I play all three every spring. I just beat all the trilogy again, and now I'm playing Origins because now I'm on PS Now. So it was awesome. So playing that, and I'm actually beating that one for the first time, which I'm super excited for. And because of like the amount of faith that they instilled in me, I'm excited to see what they do with Gotham Knights that's coming out.
Oh, I'm so excited for
And
that. Yeah.
Suicide Squad that's coming out.
I'm more excited for Gotham Knights. That's gonna be so cool.
Yes, I play as Red Hood in like a mainline game, bro.
Yeah,
So excited.
That's gonna be really cool.
So they instilled more faith in me with their games than Marvel has.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, Spider-Man's good. Miles Morales, I heard, was pretty decent. I didn't play it because I just didn't want to. I watched it on YouTube. It was interesting. It was pretty interesting. His voice is a little annoying.
Is it the same?
It's a kid.
Is it the same voice actor from Into the Spider-Verse?
No.
It's different.
No, it's a different.
That would have been nice if they had kept that.
So with that, DC gets my stamp of approval because they instilled that trust and that time and effort that they're putting into their games for their fans. That's an automatic win in my book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's DC for me.
So we have comics, which is DC, right?
Yeah.
That's DC. Okay. So you want to? I'm gonna count on my finger. You
Okay.
You count who's got one win.
Okay.
So let's do that hand. That'll be DC.
Okay. The one with the wolf.
What is this? Damn, I just remember the Avengers game exists. Extra points off. Yeah, exactly. It has to be extra points off for Marvel because they have so much potential for
Screw
that.
Sony. No reason for why Spider-Man should be only PlayStation
Oh
exclusive.
yeah, that was a thing, right?
Screw Sony. That should lose brownie points right there.
Yeah.
That's more of a Sony issue than a Marvel issue,
But that's so annoying.
that's not good. That's not okay.
All right, so comics, right? You got DC.
DC.
All right, then we had what?
Animated shows.
That was DC for me and you. Right?
Yeah.
Then we have live action shows. That's Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Movies
Movies
is
Marvel.
Video games.
DC.
DC. So in the end, DC wins.
Mm-hmm.
In mine, and I think in Preston's book. But obviously, the movies in its own could be like two categories because
We could sit here in this whole, how long are we talking? Like an hour and a half already. This whole conversation we just talked about the movies.
yeah, because we don't even have to talk about it. Like the movies are fantastic, and like just bring up the brief conversation that Preston and I had earlier today is like, I really hope that they give these indie director chances to direct like their little projects because DC has so many more like little heroes that they could do. Like a prime example that Preston brought up was a Red Hood movie.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, because Red Hood is such a great character.
Yeah.
And you can bring so many like elements of. Yeah, exactly, Zach. Yeah, like you as the director. Yeah, like Red Hood, like you can get like that trauma, like like of like him dying.
Yeah.
You can there's just so many arcs you can go with it, and it's like if it sucks, it sucks. But if it does good, you gotta take that chance. They did that with I can't pronounce his name. Takiti Wahidi, whatever his name is.
Taki Wahidi.
Taki. Yeah, he's such a good director, but he was not really known. And a couple of the other guys, and they just blew up Marvel,
Yeah.
And it's like, why DC should do that, because and it'll help expand their universe. And like you said too, they should have done like individual movies like Marvel did.
Yeah.
And then, but sadly,
I would love to see a Flash movie before they did the
Flash.
Justice League.
And I think they should have done a Flash movie before they did Flashpoint, to be honest.
Yeah. Now they're just restarting the universe.
Yeah. So without even doing anything really. So.
And now we have two universes going.
But that's besides the point. So in the end, DC.
Yeah.
Is a winner for me, and I think for you as well, in regards to everything together. Let us know what you guys think. Like, do you think DC comes out in the end? Do you think Marvel comes out in the end? Do you think they both come out in the end? Like, let us know.
Yeah, thanks you guys for watching. Feel free to send us messages on any other ideas for us to talk about with you guys. I think I have an idea for our next one.
I think we should talk about Invincible next time.
I was actually thinking we do anime.
Anime, yes. Yes.
By that point, we'll try to get Demon Slayer under my belt. I probably could do it.
Yeah, it's only like 26 episodes, I think.
Yeah, so I could definitely get Demon Slayer under my belt and maybe possibly try to get a guest on that one. Maybe.
I'm fully vaxxed, boys. Fully vaxxed.
I have antibody because I died last month. So I just got my antibody test the other day and I'm still having it. So I'm good. But yeah, definitely. Let us know what you guys think. Happy you guys could come, and feel free to message us on either our Instagram, Snapchat, or whatever platform you have me or Liam on. And yeah, enjoy your nights.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys. This was very interesting trying to put together like an hour or two before.
Yeah, we went 30 minutes over our time.
Yeah, we had here I'll show you real quickly. Like I have this microphone that's supposed to be a good microphone, and we had it like here like this, so I would have mine and he would have his, and they were just both picking up each other. So now we have just his working. So it was a lot of work in progress, but I'm glad you guys, for the guys that came out and stuck with us. So hopefully production value will slowly go up, and
yes,
we'll get like more topics than just nerds ranting the whole time. But I enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. So
yeah, this was fun. Let us know if you guys will want to see anything more in the future too. Anything else?
No, I'm good. You wanna send it off? Go ahead, just go out and bang. Go out and bang. Just go ahead.
I don't even know.
I
don't even know. I haven't even thought about a send off.
No, you're just gonna do it.
We'll see all you dudes.